Ooh, take a look at this. That guy asks, "Hey, how have you been? Hey, how have you been?" Do you know how to answer this question? What does this mean? Well, in this lesson, I'm going to teach you. Hey, if you like getting tips like this, I would love it if you subscribe to my channel right down there. Okay, so the reason this is a little bit confusing for some people is because of these words here. Have been. Have been. Does this mean, how are you? How are you? Well, no, it doesn't mean that. There's a little bit of a difference, okay? If someone asks you, how are you? They mean now. How are you doing? They mean right now, right? Whereas if someone asks you, how have you been? They mean since the last time they saw you, right? Since they last saw you. Usually, we don't ask this question if we have seen someone recently. Okay, so if you've seen, your friend yesterday, you wouldn't ask this question, hey, how have you been? Usually it's a longer time period, okay? Like maybe 6 months, okay? So then you would ask, hey, how have you been? So let's imagine that you are shopping in a store and suddenly you see your friend. Hey, John. Hey, how have you been? You haven't seen your friend for 6 months. Maybe you used to work at the same job, but then you quit and you started working for a different company. And now you see your old coworker, right? Hey, how have you been? It's been 6 months, right? So you see John here, but you want to know, how he's been doing in this time period because you haven't seen him for 6 months. Hey, how have you been? Okay, so that's what the question means. Now, how should you answer? Well, you could say, I've been good, thanks. Hey, I've been good, thanks. How have you been? Okay, I've been doing good, thanks. You can say either one. I've been good, thanks, or I've been doing good, or I've been doing great. I've been great, thanks. How about you? Okay, so you'll notice that we're using the same words in the answer as in the question, okay? How have you been? We're using the same verb tense. I've been, okay? Now this is the present perfect verb tense, the present perfect. In English, there are 12 verb tenses, right? 12 verb tenses. This one is the present perfect. And in perfect verb tenses, we use these weird words like been, gone, those sort of strange verbs. Okay, so this is the present perfect. So you should answer using the same verb tense. Okay, so how have you been? I've been good, thanks. Or I've been doing great. Okay, so that's how you can answer with this, I've been. Now, I have, like, I've is a contraction for I have, right? When two words in English become one word with a little apostrophe, that's called a contraction, okay? Now, you could also ask someone this, how's work been? Hey, how's work been? Or how's work been going? How's work been going? Now, if you ask someone, how's work going? Okay, these are like, it's the same as how have you been and how are you? There's a little difference, right? If you ask someone, how has work been? That means, maybe you're talking about the last few weeks or the last few months. But if you ask, how's work going? You mean right now. These days. Hey, how's work going? That means, how's work going these days? But if you say, how's work been? Or how's work been going? That sort of means in the past while. Maybe weeks, maybe months. Okay, so that's the difference. And you should answer these, the same way the question was asked. So if the question is asked like this, then you should say, it's going great, thanks. Hey, how's work going? It's going great, thanks. But if someone asks you, how's work been? Then you should say, it's been great, thanks. It's been great, thanks. How about you? How's work been going for you? Okay, so that's the difference. That's how you should answer these questions. It's good to match the same verb tense, okay? This one is the present continuous verb tense, and this one is the present perfect, this one is the present perfect, and this one is the present continuous, okay? Is going. Okay, usually with the ing words, that means it's a continuous verb tense. It's going great, thanks. Now, I made a whole video series on verb tenses. Okay, so if verb tenses are confusing for you, don't worry. Really, I mean, they're important, but don't worry too much. You can just watch that series I made on verb tenses. The playlist is down there in the description, the link to the playlist. So if you go down there and click on that, you can watch all my videos about verb tenses. Okay, now take a look at the word it's. It's. There and there. Are they the same word? Do they mean the same thing? Well, actually, there, it's means it has. And there, it's means it is. Wow, did you know that? If you didn't know that, click the like button right down there. So the word it's can be two things. It can be it has or it is. Here it's it has because this is the present perfect. It has to be it has been great, thanks. Here it is, right? It is going great, thanks. But for both of them, we just say it's. It's. Okay. Now, like I said in my series on verb tenses, I said many times in those videos, I said verb tenses are flexible. They're flexible. You know, you don't have to think that you always have to use one verb tense in a certain situation. Okay, sometimes you can choose which one you want. Okay, so if someone asks you, how have you been? Okay, you could say, I'm doing great, thanks. So here, you are changing the verb tense in your answer. And that's okay. I mean, if someone says, hey, how have you been? Oh, I'm doing great, thanks. That's fine. That's normal. Okay. I think it's better if you try to match the same verb tense. It would be better to say, I've been doing good, or I've been great, thanks. If you say I've been, that would be better because here the question asks, how have you been? It's good to match the verb tense, but you know what? In normal English, sometimes we don't do this. Sometimes we answer in a different verb tense. Like if someone asks you, hey, how's work been? How's work been? You could say, it's going great. It's going great. That's fine too. Okay, so that's normal. Don't worry too much about this. But hey, I want to ask you, how have you been? How have you been doing? Let me know down there in the comments, and I'll see you over in the next episode of Mad English TV. Take care.